Hello, witches. Welcome back to Pagan Pathways with Jessica for this very Witchy Wisdom Wednesday video. If you're not familiar with Witchy Wisdom Wednesday videos, they come out every Wednesday. There are 7 participating pages, including mine, and you'll find all their links down in the description box. Make sure you jump on over and go see their perspective. Anyway, we pick a topic and everybody talks about that topic on their channel so that you can get a different perspective. All right. I will also add a playlist, as I do every time, at the end of my video so that you can go see all the Witchy Wisdom Wednesday videos and all the different topics we've talked about thus far. Now, with that said, we're going to move along here. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Make sure that you like and comment because that helps my channel grow and I would definitely appreciate it. Also, it helps me see the feedback I'm getting from people who are viewing my videos. Now, let's move right along with this. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. This whole video is about mirror magic. And I'm actually pretty excited because I love mirror magic. It is vast. There's so many things you can do with it. Now, this is not a complete listing. This is just some of the things you can do. You can amplify with a mirror. You can deflect. You can reflect. And you can protect. You can also do self-work. You can do self-empowerment work. You can do soul work. You can do shadow work. There's just so much you can do with mirrors, and that's why I really like this topic. So I think it was a perfect topic, especially right now or anytime really. So anyway, when you talk about it, how would you use it for soul work or self-empowerment? You have to excuse me, I'm always tongue-tied, so if you follow me, you know this is nothing new. For those of you who aren't, just know I mess up and bumble a lot. Anyway, so when you're trying to use it for self, there's several different ways you can do that, and I definitely want to put this out there. Make sure you're doing lots of research and you're looking at many different sources so that you have a very great big knowledge base. I'm all for research. I think it's very important. So I just want to put that out there. Anyway, so there's a lot of ways to do that. Let's just talk about self-empowerment and how you can use a mirror. If you look at yourself in the reflection, a lot of times we tend to look at all of our flaws. But when you're trying to use it for self-empowerment or self-esteem or self-work, you're going to be looking at yourself and pointing out all the good stuff and saying positive affirmations about yourself. That is a very simplistic way to use the mirror in self-work. Now let's talk about amplification. A mirror is an amplifier. It's a natural amplifier. I mean, a mirror is a tool like many other tools, but this particular tool has its own power associated with it, at least in my view. Kind of like your crystals, which let's talk about that. If you were to take a crystals and you made a grid on top of a mirror, whatever you were gridding with those crystals is now going to be amplified out. So definitely very powerful way to really get your grid for whatever work you're trying to do with it to be very powerful. Now, how could you use it with a spell to amplify the spell? So let's just take, for instance, you're doing a candle spell. You stick the candle on top of the mirror and you perform all of your stuff that way with the mirror underneath. And that is amplifying whatever spell you're doing. So I love that. If you guys look back at my travel altar or the travel altar in my truck, you will notice mirrors and all of those because I definitely like to use a mirror and I keep them on hand. If in my truck, for instance, I'm using it as a deflection to deflect away anything bad so that it goes away from me, and that's why I keep one on my altar in my truck. Now, so that brought us to another one, didn't it? Deflection. Another simple way to use a mirror in deflecting is to hang it in your window so that it deflects things away from your house. Now, whenever you're working with mirrors, you always want it pointing away from you unless you're doing self-work. That way then it's, pushing away, and deflection and protection go hand in hand. So when you're deflecting something negative, it's protecting you at the same time. Now, when I say reflection, what I mean is that you're reflecting something back to somebody not just deflecting it. You're not just using it as a barrier to stop something. You're actually reflecting it back. So I like to use mirrors in my return to sender spells. Side note here, please, I don't need anybody to tell me return to sender spells are bad. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because people do tend to do that. Now, let me explain to you why return to sender spells, from my view, is perfectly okay. When somebody is doing something to you and you send back their energy to them, that is on them. They're responsible. It isn't your energy. It is theirs. It belongs to them. And so I will just stop right there and move right along. Okay, so with that said, so if I do a return to sender spell, here's a very simple way to do that with a mirror. I'm going to really envision this person in the mirror, like all the details that I can. And I'm going to say a few words with that about it's theirs, they take it back, and then I'm going to turn the mirror around and push it out so that all of their energy is going right back to the person that it belongs to. That's a very simplistic way to think about a return to sender spell using a mirror. All right, guys, I wanted to keep this very short. I hope that I've clarified enough simple ways to use a mirror, but I want to repeat myself one more time. Before you use a new type of magic that you've never used before, I think it's very imperative to do a lot of research, gather information from different sources, and make an informed decision. All right, with that said, witches, I'm going to get out of here. I hope everybody has an amazing day and a very blessed week, and we'll talk soon.